In September 2025, a pivotal moment unfolded in Riyadh, a city that has often been at the heart of significant geopolitical shifts. Saudi Arabia and Pakistan signed the Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement, a landmark deal that has the potential to reshape the security landscape of the Middle East and South Asia. This pact, inked by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, formalizes a powerful military alliance between two of the Islamic world's most influential nations. It signifies a deepening of ties that have been nurtured over decades. At its core, an attack on one is an attack on both, a binding military commitment that elevates decades of cooperation. This agreement is not just a piece of paper, it's a pledge of mutual defense and solidarity. For years, Pakistan provided military expertise, Saudi Arabia, financial and diplomatic support. This symbiotic relationship has been a cornerstone of their bilateral ties. Now the relationship is symmetrical and public. Both nations stand shoulder to shoulder, presenting a united front to the world. The deal comes amid growing instability and doubts about traditional U.S. security guarantees in the region. As the U.S. recalibrates its foreign policy, regional powers are stepping up to fill the void. It's a direct response to shifting alliances and rising threats, signaling a new era of self-reliant regional security. This agreement is a proactive measure to ensure stability and peace in a volatile region. By combining Saudi financial power and Pakistan's military strength, including its nuclear status, the pact creates a new strategic reality. This alliance is a formidable force, capable of deterring potential aggressors. This is more than a regional story. It's a sign that global power dynamics are shifting. The world is watching as these two nations take a bold step towards a new geopolitical order. To truly grasp the significance of the Saudi-Pakistan agreement, it's important to understand the concept behind it and why it matters on the world stage. Let's clarify what a mutual defense pact is. At its core, it's a formal, binding promise between two or more countries. An agreement that if one is attacked, the others will come to its aid, militarily if necessary. This means that the security of each nation is directly tied to the other. If one faces external aggression, the other is obligated to respond, turning a single nation's problem into a shared responsibility. This is one of the strongest commitments nations can make. Think of NATO's Article 5, where an attack on one member is considered an attack on all. By signing their pact, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan are creating their own version of collective defense, signaling to the world that their security interests are now intertwined. This goes far beyond friendship or routine cooperation. It's a solemn commitment that could require real action in times of crisis. It's a binding treaty that could mean going to war for each other. Such agreements are rare and not entered into lightly, requiring deep trust, shared values, and a clear alignment of strategic interests. The language, "aggression against either country shall be considered aggression against both," is classic for these pacts, echoing the wording of other major alliances. This kind of statement is a powerful deterrent, sending a clear message to any potential adversary that they will face a united front. Any adversary must now consider the risk of confronting not just one, but both nations, with all their combined military strength and resources. This fundamentally changes the strategic calculus in the region, making any act of aggression far more costly and risky. The hope is that this show of unity will prevent conflict before it starts, raising the cost of aggression to a level that discourages hostile actions. In essence, it's about peace through a clear and unmistakable show of unified strength and resolve. The world is watching closely to see how this new alliance will shape the balance of power and stability in the region for years to come. The Saudi-Pakistan Defense Pact isn't sudden. It's the culmination of over 50 years of close cooperation. For decades, Saudi Arabia provided financial muscle, Pakistan, military expertise. Since the 1960s, Pakistani instructors have trained thousands of Saudi soldiers, and Pakistani troops have been stationed in the kingdom during regional crises. During the Iran-Iraq War, Pakistani soldiers bolstered Saudi defenses. In recent years, Pakistani generals have led Saudi-backed coalitions. This deep trust has always been the backbone of their relationship. Yet the partnership was historically one-sided. Pakistan defended Saudi Arabia, while the kingdom offered economic aid. What was missing was reciprocity, a formal Saudi commitment to defend Pakistan. the 2025 pact finally balances the scales, transforming an informal partnership into a mutual alliance. The 2025 Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement marks a turning point in the relationship between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. What sets it apart is its foundation of true reciprocity. Each nation is now equally committed to the other's security, making this pact genuinely mutual for the first time in their history. In the past, the partnership was more transactional. Pakistan would provide military expertise and manpower, while Saudi Arabia offered financial support and energy resources. Their cooperation was strong, but it was always based on a clear division of roles. Now both countries have pledged to stand shoulder to shoulder, promising to defend each other in times of crisis, regardless of the threat or its origin. For Pakistan, this agreement brings a new layer of deterrence, especially in the context of its complex relationship with India. It also elevates Pakistan's status on the world stage, signaling that it has powerful allies willing to back it up. For Saudi Arabia, the pact is a bold move toward a more independent and diversified security policy. It reduces the kingdom's reliance on traditional Western partners, particularly the United States, and gives it more options in a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape. By formalizing their alliance through a signed treaty, both nations are locking in their commitments. This isn't just a handshake or a verbal promise, it's a binding state-to-state agreement that will outlast political changes and leadership transitions. Unlike past arrangements that were often reactive or temporary, this pact is designed as a long-term strategy. It's about preparing for the future, not just responding to the present. Formal treaties like this carry immense weight. They are backed by law, national honor, and the expectations of both peoples. They are far more enduring than informal deals or secret understandings. By making their alliance public, both nations are sending a clear message to the world. Their destinies are now intertwined, and they are ready to face challenges together. This is a watershed moment. What was once a decades-old friendship has now evolved into a robust modern military alliance, reflecting the realities of today's global politics. The world's major powers and regional players must now factor this new alliance into their calculations, as it could reshape the balance of power in South Asia and the Middle East. The stakes and the commitments are higher than ever, and the future of this partnership will be closely watched by allies and rivals alike. The Saudi-Pakistan Pact is a direct response to a region in turmoil. In 2025, the Middle East was rocked by a brief Israel-Iran war and an Israeli airstrike on Doha, raising doubts about U.S. security guarantees. These events sent shockwaves through Gulf states, highlighting their vulnerability. Ongoing conflict in Gaza and a recent India-Pakistan clash added to the sense of instability. For Saudi Arabia, the message was clear: relying solely on outside powers is risky. For Pakistan, the need for strong alliances was underscored by renewed tensions with India. The old order, where the US was the ultimate guarantor, is fading. In this environment, regional powers are forging their own security frameworks. The Saudi-Pakistan Pact is a bold step toward self-reliance. It's a sign of a new era in Middle Eastern and South Asian security. The most controversial aspect of the pact is its nuclear implications. Pakistan is a nuclear power. Saudi Arabia is not, but now may fall under Pakistan's nuclear umbrella. Officials are deliberately vague, but the agreement's language suggests nuclear deterrence is on the table. This ambiguity forces adversaries, especially Iran, to consider the risk of a nuclear response. Pakistan's doctrine allows for first use of nuclear weapons, raising the stakes for any conflict involving Saudi Arabia. This new dynamic challenges Israel's nuclear monopoly and complicates U.S. policy in the region. The prospect of a Pakistani nuclear guarantee for Saudi Arabia is a game-changer. It introduces a new, unpredictable element into Gulf security. The world must now contend with a more complex and potentially volatile balance of power. For India, the Saudi-Pakistan Pact is a troubling development. It complicates India's security strategy and undermines years of diplomatic outreach to Riyadh. India's new military doctrine, Operation Sindoor, is now less certain. Any strike on Pakistan could provoke a Saudi response. The pact strengthens the bond between two of India's key rivals. New Delhi's official response is cautious, but concern runs deep. Saudi Arabia is balancing, building a security alliance with Pakistan, while maintaining strong economic ties with India. For India, the challenge is to adapt, continuing engagement with Saudi Arabia, while recalibrating its approach to a Pakistan now backed by a powerful ally. The regional equation has changed. India must rethink its strategy in a more complex landscape. For Israel, the Saudi-Pakistan pact introduces a new complex variable. Pakistan's potential nuclear shield for Saudi Arabia challenges Israel's long-held regional military edge. The alliance gives Saudi Arabia more leverage in its dealings with both Israel and the wider Islamic world. It complicates Israel's diplomatic landscape, possibly slowing normalization efforts. Yet, a stronger Saudi Arabia less reliant on the US could also mean more regional stability, especially against Iran. The pact is a double-edged sword, new risks but also new opportunities for balance. Israel must now navigate a region where old alliances are shifting and new ones are emerging. The Saudi-Pakistan pact is more than a regional story. It's a sign of a changing global order. Middle powers are forging their own alliances, moving away from reliance on superpowers. For global energy markets, the pact ties Saudi security to South Asian volatility, with potential impacts on oil prices worldwide. The ambiguous nuclear umbrella could set a precedent, challenging non-proliferation efforts. A conflict in one region could now have global economic consequences. The world is more interconnected and more unpredictable than ever. Understanding these shifts is crucial for anyone tracking 21st century power dynamics. The Saudi-Pakistan alliance is a clear signal. The rules of global security are being rewritten.